Start recording. Voiceover off.
Hello everyone, this is my first blog and it's gonna be about my life because I feel like this is something that everybody has been wanting me to do. Not everyone, but someone by the name of Nikia, and she's my guidance counselor at college and I appreciate her. But you know, my life had gotten to a rough start. I was in the school system since I was 3 years old, and I had teachers that didn't really take the time to consider my disability well. They didn't care about me. They didn't care if I succeeded or not. I feel like they were just wasting my time, and I was wasting my time because they didn't care if I succeeded or not. And I felt devastated. I felt lost. I felt trapped. I didn't know what to do. And you know, at my first IEP meeting, which is individual exception plan, one of the teachers had snapped at my grandmother because she was telling me she had put a ball on the floor at her house, right? And she had told the teacher that she explained to me the ball is back of you, right? She was referring to me, to the teacher. And she's like, that's the wrong terminology. You're supposed to say behind you. The ball is behind you, not in back of you. And I said, ma'am, I might be 3 years old, but I know good darn well that terminology. I know what that meant. My grandmother doesn't have to be reminded of what that terminology meant, because I know what it meant. So, and she yells at me to put my shapes inside the correct holes in the box, right? And I was like, and then she told my grandmother that I didn't know what my shapes and colors were. And I was like, yes, I do. I'm putting them in the right spot. You are just not looking. And so the teacher's like, you know, I was like, what am I to do? Why am I here? Why am I like this? Why do I have a teacher that is so darn careless about me as a child? And she goes, it's your fault. I'm like, how is it my fault? You can't blame me for something that I'm working on, that I know of. You can't tell me how I'm supposed to be. You can't tell me if, you know, if because I'm very well capable. And she goes, no, you're not. I said, you don't know that. You don't know. You can't. I feel like I can't trust you, you know? And she's like, no, you can't. I said, then why are you my teacher? Why are you pointing me in the wrong direction? I'm supposed to go forward, not backwards. And after the first IEP meeting, I just went in my bedroom at home. I did my homework, and I just laid in my crib for the rest of the day. 'Cause I'm just a child. I was innocent. And, you know, she didn't get it. And even at UCP, there were a lot of teachers that didn't want to know who I was. And they didn't seem to like me. They didn't seem to care. And it just made me sad. And, you know, being the person that they wanted me to be was just not right. They wanted me to be, they didn't want me to succeed. They didn't want me to strive forward. They wanted to hold me back. And I wasn't gonna let that happen because, number one, I'm wanting to be an inspiration to others, and I didn't want this to stop me from doing what I wanted. And I didn't want anyone to think that just because I have a disability does not mean that I can't go far. And one of the teachers, I was in the cooking area. They had this little cooking area. I used to play with the measuring cups. You know how little kids do it. And one of the teachers goes, "Get in your desk right now." And I was like, "I can't see where I'm going." And she goes, "That's your problem." I said, and then again I told her, "How?" She goes, "You're not paying attention." I said, "Because I can't see where I'm going. If you were to be so smart enough that you knew about my disability back then, you would have not treated me like this." And yeah, so she just went behind my back, and she basically she said, "Use your cane." I said, "Where did I leave it?" She goes, "I don't know." I said, and she goes, "You're supposed to know where you put it." I said, "I can't see it from here, okay? I don't know where it is." And she's like, that's your fault. You better go find it, and you better go back where your desk is." I said, "You are not giving me specific answers, okay? You are not guiding me in the right direction again. So I'm gonna call and I had the principal just sit down next to me, and I explained to the principal what had happened. I said, "She's not treating me fairly. She's not doing her job correctly. She doesn't have the patience. She didn't have the strength and the courage to deal with a child like me." And she goes, I said, "Ma'am, what am I to do? I'm just a child with this disability, and you're not going to do anything about it?" She goes, "No." So then, why am I there? I kept asking myself why. I kept asking myself, why am I at this school when no one cares about me? Why? And my vision teacher, she would used to walk on her treadmill before handing me the work. She didn't read the directions. I said, she is the weirdest person I have ever met. And it just makes me sad to think that I had teachers who disliked me, who didn't care. And it breaks my heart because I'm a child with so much talent and so much passion. And they didn't care if I had stage fright. They forced me to do things that I didn't want. They talked behind my back. And I was mad. I didn't know how to cope with it. And the only reason why that I'm standing on this earth is because God has put me here. God has opened the doors. And I'm so happy to be the child of him. I am so happy to be the person that I am now. 'Cause back then, all I was this crazy little bad girl that didn't know what she was doing, that didn't see her future, that was ashamed to accept who she was. She was crazy. She was messed up. She was innocent. She didn't have the right guidance in school. And it makes me upset. And, and to be this child with this disability, it's just not fair. And now, in the 5th grade, everything started to change. I was in the chorus for 2 years. No. I was in the chorus in elementary school. I was in the chorus in, the time that, that needed to be appropriate. And the teachers then were nice. But the problem started back again in middle school in the 6th grade. I had a teacher who didn't read the instructions of the FCAT, which is the Florida Comprehension Standardized Test. I don't know if I'm saying this right, but who cares? It's the FCAT. And it was, again, a failure. And I'm like, why am I being held back like this? And I said, why in this God-given earth would you take the time to say I'm not reading the instructions when I can't see what they are? Again, devastation. But then Mrs. McConnell came, and she has been the most amazing teacher that I've ever had. I love her because she has made me into such a role model, a leader. And I couldn't ask for more, but those other paras that didn't know what they were doing, I just forget them. I mean, Teresa, she was one of them. And I just didn't like her. And Miss Tweedy is awesome. I mean, she is just straight up, like, it's just puts a smile on my face and everything. Miss Clunas also, she was amazing. She's amazing. She still is. Mrs. Leo, oh man, I can't thank her enough to go in my senior year. And, Mrs. McConnell stood by me for all those times. And, she held me, she got me through the 6th grade all the way to the 11th grade. I can't be any more thankful. But in 2013, this band, I love them very much. Their name is Voiceprint, and they come from Sri Lanka, and I'll tell you, they have changed my life completely. Physically, mentally, and musically. Because they're the ones that really helped me take all that stress from back then, when I was 3 years old, away from me. They have been the ones that really pushed me to go forward and just make a difference. And here I am. Just is so happy, and they made me happy. They made me feel like I'm special. They made me feel like I was the person that I wanted to be, and I couldn't thank them enough. So, and yeah, and 3 years old might be the thing of the past, but it still cuts me like a knife. And it's not easy living in this world with an eye disability. It's not easy. And if you were to be in my shoes, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And being a child from prematurely with retinopathy or premature, which is eye condition that has retinas detached in both eyes, and it just cuts me like a knife. I just dislike it. And VoicePrint didn't see me like that. They saw me as a diamond. They saw me as like they saw me like if I was a special person. And they took me in like if I was they thought I was special. They thought I was so kind and so generous and so sweet. And I'm so thankful to have found them, because they have, like I said, they have changed my life completely, and I can't thank them enough. And their voices just take the sadness away from me. They helped me shape into the college student that I am now. I am so inspired by their story, and they have been the group that really stuck to me when in 2013, and I couldn't stop listening to them ever since. And they're just such a good group to fall back on. And just being the person that I want to be. And now it's just through high school, freshman year and senior year was just definitely the highlights of them all. And I am just all I've done this whole time is be the person that I thought I wasn't gonna be to the person that I am now. And that's all because of them, not just my family and friends, but them alone. They have just took me into consideration, and they admired what I did, and they're just so humble and so sweet and so caring, and their messages are just so positive. And they keep me on my toes musically, and they just helped me create an outlet. They helped me to be calm and not sad. And they just and guys, if you're sad about something, I would recommend that you check them out, because they will like change your life completely too, like they did with mine. And people without there's some people that still don't know about disabilities, what the unsighted world, they don't know. Because some people in schools, some students in schools have a tendency to not have the courage or strength to do the work, but they're just so lazy. And the same guidance counselor that I had, Mrs. Rither, I miss you, she was my guidance counselor in high school, and she has just guided me, sorry guys, through the whole process of being a high school student. She she would just go like from saying that, hey, you put forth more effort than my other kids. And I'm like, wow, that's a big compliment. Okay, good, awesome. I'm so glad that I was able to do that. And then college, just, and graduation day, and seeing all my friends there, and seeing all the high school friends that I still keep in touch with now is just amazing. But when 2018 came, that was the day of college. And Valencia just took me in as one of their colleagues, and so nice, the nice staff, the nice students, everything. And, you know, to be a college student just means a whole lot because I get to have the freedom of lifetime, and I always have the good education that I need from my professors. And with that in mind, I achieved so much. And I in 2018 January, it was kind of tough because I had professors that worked with me very well, took me in as family, and I was able to succeed even if I didn't have my Braille note back then. It's a device where it's, you know, you can type. It's like a computer but with like a Braille layout, which is like a language that I use to read and write. That's what other sighted people, that other vision impairment people, like other disabilities, if they can't see, they would read in Braille, which is a language that has like dots and they make like letters. Like sometimes two dots can be like B, or two dots can make up C, or just like the letters in general, and you have to put those letters again to make words. And it's a lot of learning, and it takes a lot of time for people like us to get stuff done. But I was like, I don't care. As long as I get it done and I pass all the classes, it really doesn't matter how long it takes me. And people need to realize that, because, people need to see what the unsighted world, people need to consider what the unsighted world doesn't have. Like, for example, if someone goes across the street, right, and they see other people that are not willing to move, they're breaking the white cane law, which is a cane. Like, if they see someone with a white cane like I have, people are supposed to move, and some people just don't care. They are so ignorant, and I'm like, that just is so rude to a person like me who has that kind of disability. And going back to school, I mean, I think college is shaping me to the person I am now. And they have just took me in as a good colleague and a good student, and I couldn't ask for a better thing. And I just really thinks it really just carves out a process that really truly does what it's supposed to be. And it's, of 2018 of May, I had this speech class. I said, ooh, nice, I get to take the fundamentals of speech, that's good. But in May 10th, 2018, voice print, here they come on my Twitter page, following me. I'm doing something right now.
Okay. Come out when you're finished.
Yeah, so, they put direct messages on, and they are doing this to see how good I was. And I was like, hey guys, thank you for the positive messages, I really appreciate you guys. And they said that we're so happy that we've been able to make that positive life impact on you and your music and your passion for it. And I said, oh, you guys are so sweet. And now 2019, last year, 2019 was the year that I really it sunk in, and I was able to report my grades to them, and they thought, oh, you're so amazing. Oh, that's amazing. Keep it up. All the best for the new year. And now, which is now. And now I've just shown them a new video of me singing Riley Clemens' song over and over. and it sends a powerful message to God, you know, being God's spirit, because God will lift you over and over again, and he will lift your spirit. And yeah, so, and they said, wow, you know, it gets better with each track. I'm so happy that it, very positive, good feedback. And yeah, that's, and yeah, so it's great. So I hope that you enjoyed this blog. See you next time. Peace out, subscribers.